Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So I think now's the time. Now's the time. We're doing it. We're grabbing Cuba. I can fight the Spanish. No one will step in. This will make me infamous, and I'm willing to deal with that. So we'll mobilize the armies. Spain has a significant army, but not a very high-tech one. So I think... see, not raising all of the armies that I could possibly raise is a dicey proposition. What I'm going to do... I'm going to raise these two, and then I'm going to put some conscripts in the Army of the Pacific Coast. So let me see. We'll do a 15, 10, 5 pattern. That's 14. 15, 10. And 5. And then we're going to raise these units. And hopefully that'll be sufficient. Let me see. Romantic and offensive planner. Definitely bring that guy in. And then we'll see. I think it depends on what Spain ends up doing over here. So what else can I throw into my goals here? I could liberate Puerto Rico, but I don't want to do that. Transfer Philippines, but obviously I don't want to do that. That's way more infamy than I can tolerate. I could get Spanish war reparations, but I don't think I want that, actually. I could do a ban slavery in Cuba, and I think I'm definitely going to do that. And do I want to add this to the primary? I think I do. Alright. Now, there are a few countries that I could sway in. Venezuela would like to humiliate Spain or get war operations from them. It's potentially useful, but I don't need Venezuela's help that much. IT, same deal. Britain I could theoretically bring in. We'll see what they want. I'm not inclined to bring Britain in on this. This is something that I, for sure, do not want. I don't feel like I need British meddling in this whole situation, I guess, is my core vibe here. Let's get a few more naval bases in this thing. Yeah, that should be sufficient. Again, I just don't want the size of my armies to outrun the navy that I'm going to use to deliver them to the location they need to be in order to actually wage the war. So, if I bring in Great Britain, they'll only want transfers. I'm not going to give Great Britain anything. They're the top-ranked great power in the world. They can live without it. Now, if I grab Spanish war reparations from this, is that... No, I'm shooting myself in the foot if I do that. I just want to have to take all of Spanish Cuba and Puerto Rico for myself, and then everything will be well. I'm not going to try faffing about with any of this other stuff. I think that's a fool's errand. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this sugar trade route. I don't need it anyways. I should put together some new trade routes eventually, but for now, I think I'm going to stay where I am because I'm a little short on government admin capacity. And I don't want to be in a weird situation with that. They obviously want a lot of things. They want to steal Liberia, which is curious. I haven't thought about Liberia in a while. I guess I do have that territory over here. I could grab Ashanti. I should grab Ashanti. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to go buck wild with this stuff. Ooh, mechanized workshops. Excellent. So that's going to unlock heckin' new production methods, and that's really rock solid. I certainly don't need to import clothes now. So, Farming situation's a little bit rough, actually. Let's, where have I got labor available? It's going to be costing more than I want to be spending, but I should be fine. Alright, so let's naval invade with the regular army. This should go really fast. Paramilitary intimidation. Political groups opposed to Reconstruction have organized militant units to intimidate voters in Louisiana and restore themselves to power. While I understand that our organization causes consternation among some elements of the population, I can assure you that our bayonets and our rifles are purely for display purposes only. Horrendous. Disband these units at once. Yeah, definitely. So I think it's possible that the fact that I've done a bunch of Reconstruction things has been the primary factor in what has caused my, the Democratic Party, or any party opposing the Republican Party, not to have reformed. I think that might be, like, built on hidden triggers in this thing, and that might be a thing that's sort of stuffed into the mechanics of the Reconstruction event chain. I'm not sure if that's the case, but it seems like it's possible. It's also theoretically possible that with a full, if I continue to back the government against the Redeemers and all them, that I'll lead to my politics getting a big shift. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but we'll see. Supremacist violence in Mississippi. Violence between white rioters and black freedmen has caused significant tension in Mississippi. I'm going to use the full might of the government to protect freedmen once again. I'm just going to keep doing that. That's been my process so far, and so far it's really worked. Alright, France is going after a dog. I don't need to worry about that. It's not a me problem. So, very good. So far, the naval invasion has progressed excellently. Farms are almost finished getting built, so that's fine. And one final battle should get us control of Cuba. Excellent. And after that, we do a naval invasion of Puerto Rico, which we're going to need to take a little time to do because the army's got to flip themselves around and get to where they need to get to. That should be fine. Ooh, enlistment offices. Wonderful. Alright. We're where we want to go. Landing progress is solid. Very nice. Excellent. Oh, I'm feeling very pleased with how this has turned out so far. Yes, I'm feeling very happy. I'm going to set up the Army of Observation in the Yankee Land HQ. Just to make sure that those coasts are protected, so that if Spain tries some sneaky garbage, we'll be good to go. Now, Spain is the primary war target. We've got control over our war goals, which is Cuba, the capital of Cuba. The capital state of Cuba, rather. And I think... So I think once we've got hold of Puerto Rico, as long as we wait, they'll be fine. And we've got war support protection because they're trying to get a bunch of other places from us that we don't necessarily want from them. I've also not added a Spanish war reparations war goal into this thing, which means that they don't have war support protection purely on the basis of me not having taken over any of Spain. So that's also advantage mine on this. Obviously, cash flow is pretty rough in this situation, but I think I shouldn't be having too many issues. Once I get dynamite, I'll be able to make my munitions plants much more effective, and at that point, I won't be having so much, quite so many problems with keeping munitions plants active. Oh boy, Japanese colonization of Sakhalin is completed. Excellent. So as we get the rest of Cuba here, this should finish out the reconstruction event, and we're going to see how well that turns, what that eventually does to the politics of the country. Alright, Caribbean HQ is sorted out. I've completely overrun my ability to pay for my armed forces at this stage, but I'm not sure why you're going to the Caribbean HQ. Why don't you go back to the New England HQ. The nation reconstructed. Our nation has rebuilt itself, making something distinct, something new, and most importantly, something united. For all our faults, we have reforged our nation and have built ourselves a government that shall not perish from this earth. We stand united once more. Dixie stops being a primary culture of the USA. Which we knew was going to happen, but it is what it is. American Navy can go to... Actually, we'll put you here. Just to make sure the enemy's not able to take back that territory, and we'll throw the Army of the Pacific Coast into garrison duty in Cuba. I don't know to what extent that'll actually, like, matter in terms of the shape of the war. But, how long is it going to take? So their ore support negative 302. Cuba's part of the peace deal, that's 240, so that's going to become 24. Okay, so we're going to need to wait until they're fully battered down. Which at this point I don't think is going to be possible, given that they've got two armies in the Spain HQ. So I think for now it's just a matter of waiting. I'm going to actually... So how do I do this? I think I'm going to demobilize the army of Florida. And I don't know what's going to happen to these conscripts, but they should deconscript, which will save me a bunch of money eventually. I'm going to leave the Army of the Pacific Coast mobilized. The regular army and the Army of Observation I'm going to leave mobilized as well. And we're just going to see... That has actually significantly impacted my cash flow, and it's made it much better. Again, my credit seems to continue to climb. I'm maybe not managing my economy as well as I could be, but it is what it is. I've gotten grain prices, which is nice. Hey, human rights has been unlocked. Wonderful. That increases the maximum investment in Social Security institution, which is something I want to continue to increase. California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Nevada seem to remain having a hard time with taxation capacity. Wait a minute, it's not taxation capacity. What the heck is it? It's the recently reconquered thing. Gosh darn it, I wasn't even paying attention to that. I got way more taxation than I need here in these places. Oh gosh, I'm such a big goof. I'm such a big dummy. That's okay. That's okay. These things happen. Let's quickly go ahead and build a couple of government admins in Pennsylvania just to give me a little extra capacity here. I am going to be doing more with trade later on. Although actually, maybe now's the time to do that. So let's grab DC and put 4 more levels of government capacity in DC. That's also going to be useful in the medium term. There we go. So now let's do a little trade. And in particular, I think we're just trying to sell anything we're way overproducing on the global market. So France will buy our wine. We got a lot of oil. Japan will buy some. China will buy the rest. We got some sugar kicking around in the market, which we cannot export. We got plenty of tobacco kicking around in the market, which we can export to Japan. Some to Brazil as well. That's interesting. Small arms we're massively overproducing. China will buy those. Let's see. Got some dyes. A lot of people should want dyes, but most people do not. France and Russia are our primary export targets for dyes. Fabric, I'm sure we can export plenty of. We can sell that to Brazil, to Mexico, to Prussia, and to France. Let's see. Anyone want our artillery? I doubt it. Doesn't look like it. American hardwood we can sell to China, to the British, and to the French. And we can actually sell... Oh, interesting. Luxury furniture is much more expensive than furniture to go for luxury clothes. So actually, we can do a rework of production methods to produce more luxury clothes at the cost of reducing production of non-luxury clothes. In fact, we'll just go ahead and flip them all over to the middle ones so that I don't need to worry about it as much. Ooh, that might have been a mistake. Yes, it would. Alright, well, we won't do all of them, but we'll do some. Furniture manufactories, I should definitely be able to start going to at least luxury furniture production for all of them. At least all the ones in the United States. So what does that do to my luxuries market? Alright, so this has made luxury clothes dirt cheap. We can sell a ton of those abroad. And that should be just fine. And then luxury furniture, similarly, we can sell an absolute... We got an absolute barrel full of luxury furniture to sell abroad. So that should be nice. That should be a really nice boon for our economy. Go ahead and increase the game speed a bit here. I should be able to sell this porcelain abroad, but only the British one. Oh, no, actually, quite a few places want porcelain. Maybe I'll shift some of these glassworks over to the bone china method. Really, less profitable with bone china. Same with this one. Same with this one. Maybe it's an exports thing. Maybe I need to be exporting more bone china. More porcelain. I don't know. I feel like we got a bunch of trade routes that are crazy profitable selling porcelain abroad. So let's take a second to watch how this impacts the price of goods in our economy. And then we'll take a second with it. Okay, I see. So part of my issue is I'm underproducing clothes. So that's why the whole luxury clothes outputs. Well, but these are crazy profitable though. So I think now I just change up production methods just a bit, get maybe a few more over to producing non-luxury, and that should make the rest crazy profitable. All right, so these. Okay, so this one to the British Republic. Oh, British Republic changed icons once again. British Republic, baby, what are you doing? Hey, they went to universal suffrage. That's cool. Democratic Republican buddies. So, Spain is going to be below 0 war support pretty soon. And my war support's holding really rock solid. They haven't tried to invade anything or done anything like that. So, I should be pretty solid. These hardwood trade routes are not as productive as they should be. I'm going to cut a couple of them. One of these trade routes not looking super good, so we'll cut it. And all these rests are basically affordable. The cloth and explosives ones are not great. Do I have a trade agreement with France? I feel like I do. I don't. France. They don't want it. Their attitude's cautious, and we're infamous. And they've got anti-American lobbies in their government. Gosh darn it! Those nerds! How could they do this? I can't believe it. I'm sinking enemy convoys in the Caribbean? That's bananas. There's dynamite. Wonderful. Alright, so... explosives factories, vacuum evap. Munitions plants, explosive shell. Dynamicides the Sulu for frickin' something. That's for sure. And then mines... all dynamite all the time. Particularly gold mines. Booming industries. Industrial boom. With the recent expansion in both the production and consumption of explosives in our country, there's been much debate on whether the military or the industrial sector should have priority. Why should we worry about how much dirt we can move when we should be thinking about how to defend our country? All you care about is starting more wars. We should put this to use for our workers instead. They're more important. I can try to support both industries. This increases explosives factory throughput by 33%. I can give priority to the industrial sector, which increases mine throughput except for gold mines by 20%. Or I can give the military sector priority, which increases munitions plants throughput by 33%. I'm going to give it to the industrial sector. I think having the mines be running better is overall a lot better. So this should tank the price of iron. Yes, and indeed it has. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my construction sectors and put them all in steel frame. And that is going to dramatically increase production. It is going to dramatically increase construction. Still kept the iron prices really, really low. So I'm going to need more explosives factories, and I'm going to need more steel mills. I think that's completely reasonable. So where we got explosives factories? We got a few in Pennsylvania. I'm going to go a few in New York, Iowa, and Illinois, and Ohio. I'm just going to do a massive increase in explosives output. After that, I got to increase the size of the steel sector. So I'll put 2 more in IT, 2 more levels, 2 more in Pennsylvania, 2 more in Connecticut, and 3 more in New York. And that should be enough to be going on with for now. Oh, interesting. So I wasn't doing as much construction, which meant that my industries were productive. The buy orders were not as high. Interesting. So what I really need in that case, I see. So this is phantom productivity right here. Gonna cut those ones in Ohio. The explosives factories, at least. Oh, this is costing me a barrel full of cash. French Republic colonized Boonville. That's interesting. Spain, where are you with this? Okay, so they will now accept the transfer of Cuba and the banning of slavery in Cuba. I'm going to propose this peace. And that makes Cuba officially mine. I'm going to reduce subject payments because the cash is functionally insignificant. And I'm going to improve relations. Oh, interesting. So the steel industries and the glass industries flexed upward to be able to provide the necessary materials. It was only the explosives industries that were not able to. So that's interesting. I definitely do need more glassworks, but I don't... Again, until I can use all of this construction that I've got, I don't think building a bunch of this stuff is the right call. Obviously, the size of my economy is continuing to increase, but what I really want to be focusing on is increasing my other industries. It's interesting. I really thought I was going to have demand in my markets sufficient to accommodate all these, all this, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. And obviously, the continually increasing price of all this stuff, I think I'm just like over on construction sectors by quite a bit. Because even when I'm using all of the construction capacity that I can use, my private sector is still not... my private sector is still decreasing. The investment pool is not going up. Even though I'm on laissez-faire and I've got really strong industrialists. Maybe after steel railway cars, I grab mutual funds. And that lets me get to publicly traded companies, and that's useful. And I think after that we'll go for the hand crank machine gun, because I want to keep ahead on military tech. I don't have anything else that I'm truly hard up for in society. So I think after that we'll go to construction. Okay, again, the game has said we're forming a free trade party. I'm going to do the next steel production method after that. But is that really the case? It is. Okay, interesting. So the Republican Party, but they can align together. And the Republican Party's made the Petite Bourgeoisie really, really strong. So interesting. So this might mean I'm going to put the Free Trade Party out of the government, but we'll see. Commander commends Civic Coalition. General Mixon has made public statements in support of the Republican Party, bringing into question the political neutrality of the military. It is my duty to defend the nation and its interests. Politics is as much a part of war as battles and logistics are. I don't see the problem with doing my duty and doing what I can to make sure those who are best fit to protect the nation end up being the ones in charge. He can say what he wants, extra momentum for the Republicans. Reprimand him, good soldiers don't give orders, they take them. Or if he likes politics so much, he ought to get more involved, he becomes head of the Petite Bourgeoisie. Christian Mixon is a ruthless diplomat and explorer. Do any of these give anything really nasty? Doesn't seem like it. If he wants to be involved so much, let him get involved. And this will put him... I think this might put him into the presidency once the election completes. We'll see if that goes down the way I suspect it will. We're almost here. We've almost finished out colonizing Idaho. And that'll be... or at least I think. I think this is just one province here. At least wise I hope it is. Do I have enough gold mines to form my gold company yet? I still don't. See, this is... well, not currently increased in prosperity. And that's why I can't form it? No, it's need 5 building levels to transfer. But I've got a bunch of levels of gold mines. I wonder if I need to have 5 in one state first? I think that must be the case. Alright, there's Idaho complete. Get started incorporating. Obviously, I'm going to need more government admin to make that happen. So let's throw... let me throw some more levels in DC. Obviously, those are taking their sweet time getting hiring, but it's better in the long term to build them there because that's where my oh my gosh. What's the name of that thing? My skyscraper's gonna go. Authorial Intent. A minor scandal has buzzed around the Republican Party as a piece of reformist fiction written by Ichabod Black in his youth has begun to circulate once more. Whilst enthusiastically written, that is the work's only merit. The plague of superstition and dogma was the end of the United States? If that's so, then why are the trains still running? How could they possibly have acquired the coal to fuel it? Their propensity to butcher your characters for cheap tragedy is nothing short of shameful. And to make matters worse, why should Victor not pursue Estrad's affections when they've known each other for so long? Do you have no eye for redeeming romance? A tragic tale, but there's no reason to harass him. Minus 20% momentum. But this is Ichabod Black's problem, not the party's. Minus 10% momentum. I'm going to go with the first one. See how reduced momentum impacts things. Yeah, I think with the industrialists running by themselves, the possibility of a oh, they're authoritarian. Interesting. The possibility of them taking an election away from the Republican Party with the Petite Bourgeoisie, the intelligentsia, and the armed forces all in it is going to be pretty freaking low. I got a national militia, so it's a little shocking that the armed forces are as strong as they are. Maybe their leader is just very good or something like that. Got a little bit of extra authority kicking around, which is interesting. I think that might go down, though, because I think I'm about to replace Ormsby Bogy with Christian Mixon. But maybe I'll throw a consumption tax in there just for funsies. Luxury furniture is a good target for that. Get myself a little bit of extra cash without costing too much. Um, partisan papers. Party-affiliated newspapers have been proliferate during this election season. Publications associated with the Free Trade Party have been particularly effective in spreading the party line. Read all about it. Honest politicians attacked by shameless cowards. Leading candidate for office issues heartwarming appeal to the common man's heart. Man on campaign trail pets a puppy. Read all about it. The Free Trade Party has used the papers brilliantly, 10% momentum. Where newspaper circulation is through the roof, this is a boom for publishers, extra paper mills throughput. I'm going to do the first one. I think throwing extra momentum in the way of the Free Trade Party is just fine. In Mexico, are you a minor yet? You are. So, theoretically, that means I could turn you into a protectorate in not too long. It's a shame. I was just starting to enjoy being lower in infamy, but, you know, having a lot of infamy is kind of the natural state of the Victoria 3 fan base. So, you know, it's just something that's going to end up happening eventually. Fruitful endorsements. In addition to solidarity with the Republican Party, Susan Anthony has encouraged her supporters to vote for it in the ongoing election. For the interest of all principled people, the Republican Party has a consistent record of excellence. I cannot speak higher of those brave men and women moving the United States of America forwards under their name. She has our thanks, certainly. 30% momentum for the Republicans. While this endorsement could best be more specific, stronger Petite Bourgeoisie, 20% momentum instead. I'm just going to give them some momentum. I don't think stronger Petite Bourgeoisie is necessarily in the national interest to promote any more than it's been promoted already. Have I increased my government capacity? They're still hiring. Am I out of labor in Maryland? No, I'm not. They're just having trouble hiring. Inefficient agriculture. The industrialists have started complaining about the existence of subsistence farms in New Hampshire, stating their undeniable inefficiency should be immediately addressed. The fertile soil of our people suffers, relegated to tired and callous hands, too exhausted from manual labor to perform at a decent level, too poor to be able to use more advanced tools that will make them more profitable. This industry is just the usefulest investment. We should follow their advice, extra migration attraction, increased upper stardom pop radicalization. They serve our purposes, slightly salty industrialists. I'm going to do the first one. Radicalizing upper stardom pops at this stage is fine. I'm still trying to chip away at my national debt, and it only seems to go up. All right. So there's the election. Christian Mixon is vice president. Pablo Lopez, exiled from Spain. Hey, Pablo Lopez. Who are you? You're a reckless positivist. Okay, I don't need any positivists right now. So Christian Mixon is now the, I want to say, 12th president of the United States. He is ruthless for extra authority, a diplomat for extra influence, an explorer for extra popularity and prestige. Increased expedition opportunity. Well, sadly, I can't send him to go on an expedition again. Alright, so that does put me at a shortage of authority, so I'll remove my previously established consumption tax, and that will be just fine. Alright. How is the power block going? Power block's going rock solid. We're almost hitting orchestrated cohesion, which is really, really nice. Joshua Norton. Well, this is exciting. So, I need to regime change Nicaragua. I need to regime change a bunch of other places, but we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that next episode. He who would be king, a resident of the California region, Joshua Norton, has declared himself an emperor. He has begun issuing his own decrees, and people have printed currency with his likeness. At the peremptory request and desire of a large majority of the citizens of the United States, I, Joshua Norton, formerly of Algoa Bay, Cape of Good Hope, and now, for the last 9 years and 10 months past, of San Francisco, California, declare and proclaim myself Emperor of these United States. Let him proclaim, it keeps the people laughing, 2% of California becomes more loyal, 15 extra popularity for him for 19 years, or a foreign head of state cannot be allowed to walk free. He becomes a martyr, he's exiled. An exiled character with country culture diplomatic catalyst is triggered between British Republic and the United States. I don't like whatever that sounds like, so, you know, we'll let him stay. We'll let him stay. We'll let him hang around. He's having a good time. He's chilling. He's he's hydrated, moisturized, living his best life. We can have Emperor Josh kicking around. I'm just saying, it's Emperor Josh. Everyone loves that guy. All right. That having been said, that is all the time we've got for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.